my days, bro. I can't believe this travesty. Yeah, we're live.
Okay, good. Because the other thing with the dress is that I think gives us a bit more legitimacy if we're trying to interview politicians and like we don't have all that viewership. It's like you know we communicate
Nah,
that
you're right. You're
from
right.
that
You're right.
space, and also
It's a standard.
it's just a reflection of reality. So yeah, all right,
Yo, you know what? It's insane because, bro, like we talked about this before, where like you gotta dress up, you gotta be presentable, bro. It clutched up so much. I was always wearing like something fancy, right?
really,
And then my friend said, "Yo, we're going to a business meeting. Like, you gotta come." And I'm like, "Oh shit." They're like, what should I wear?" I'm like, "Bro, you're always drip. Like, I'm always wearing
yeah,
something fancy. I'm always wearing
yeah,
some suits."
it
And
does,
then I pulled to
yeah.
this business meeting. Bro, like if I was wearing what I wore the day before, which was sweats and a fucking like manila t-shirt, the one I'm wearing right now actually. If
Hmm.
I wore that, bro,
I know which one. Yeah,
like yo, if
the
I wore this
trailer.
shirt, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like everybody was in a full suit. This was a business meeting at Telfer, man, and they were going like, so it was a like a marketing, like a consultation meeting, and
Yeah.
it was actually pretty interesting. Um, but yo, like time and time again, I see like I don't know what the difference is between someone who is like I guess unambitious or just plain quiet because like
Mm.
time and time again there's like opportunities as in like they wish for people to interact to participate and it's always silent, like dead
Oh,
silent. Like there's just nobody speaking. There's nobody like
that's
contributing to
interesting.
the presentation. They say, "Yo, what's
That's
up?"
interesting.
And
Yeah.
I'm scared that it's like either I'm just too obnoxious or these people are way too quiet. Like what's really the difference here? Because I spoke to some people. Oh, you
Hmm.
know, this is what I noticed, man. I don't know if it's like a business people thing, like in Telfer, but I think it's like a really common occurrence where a lot of people just say a whole lot of nonsense about themselves, and I pray I don't do that because there were some people I was talking to and they were like there to network, right? And they were
Yeah.
just saying like their entire life story, and I asked, "What is consultation?" And they'd
Wow.
give up
And they
like,
couldn't.
I didn't know
What
what it
was?
is, like consultation, like
No,
I
no.
don't
What
know,
they say?
but
I'm saying what they say.
they said like, yo, since back in the day, since when I was in high school, right? Like I was a dev, but now I was grinding, and I'm like, yo, like I just wanted to know, like what consultation
Really?
is, and they'd give it the
That's
entire
weird.
background, and it
That's so
happened
weird.
multiple times where they would like say a lot of things and then say their
Uh,
point at the end,
a
and I see this
pre-ready
a lot in
answer.
Twitter Spaces. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's so inauthentic. And I hear that a lot in like Twitter Spaces as well when I was on for like a few days. They would all have like pre-prepared answers, like genuinely
Hmm.
scripted ideas.
Hmm.
And I don't know, bruh. It's just like I'm really trying to be as self-aware as I can. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not arrogant, but also not, like quiet. So I just thought it was interesting. Anyways, yo, I
Yeah.
have something to show you.
Okay.
Um, bro, so, well, I was gonna show this off cam, but I might as well do it here. Let me share the screen. Blender. Okay, wait. I'll set it up for you. Anyways, while I'm setting it up, how have you been, bruv? What's your week been like? Let's get a quick one rundown.
So unfortunately, I had a really bad week.
Mm.
Just like waking up at 12 every day at noon. Um, it just happened over and over and over again, including on Sunday. Um, yeah, just like a personal failure, and
But why
you
was
know,
that? Why was it?
shameful, but I keep going. The reason was, it's like, well, the reason behind it is that I will like make strides during the day, but like once I go to bed, it's over. And if I don't catch myself in the
But
morning,
what do you mean?
like I could literally go to bed feeling I could go to bed having like a very productive day, but then when I wake up, like as you know, like I talked about this before, like I'm like completely out of it for a quick minute, and if I don't catch myself, then I'll just go back to sleep, and that's what's been happening. I didn't catch myself. Um, I tried a few different things, but yeah, like it didn't happen. And my next step is like to do the music thing again, where I would use to like put on headphones whenever I would wake up, and I just have them on my bedside. So I'm gonna just starting tomorrow. I'm doing that, but also like it just can't happen anymore. Like it just makes me so unreliable. Like I even wanted to get breakfast with someone, and then literally I told myself like, yo, I can't set that up because I'm not 100% sure that I'll wake up on time. So like
Wow.
there's like so it's like this whole unreliability thing. Like obviously you can't coexist with living, but also like we have our own goals. Like even like with um the kind of live event, it's like there can't be any missteps in the lead up to that starting now, right? Like in terms of the poster business, like it needs to make capital for that. In terms of the marketing knowledge, it needs to be acquired now. So yeah, like I don't know what to say,
Bro,
but
that's interesting.
I don't know what to say,
I've
but
had
it'll it'll work going forward. Um, I I don't know. I just like need to keep myself out of this escapism, keep myself in like this kind of reality, which I feel like the kind of idea of escaping the matrix, like outside of the matrix, is a very ugly place. Like because you get like the realities of the world. Like I was at Walmart and I'm like shit, man. Like everybody here, like just like thinking about the realities of like food and survival. So I feel like it's reverse in kind of a sense where like this is how I might think of it is that when you're inside you've escaped, but then you're being lied to, but it's like it's very comfortable. So I need to just like continually like the only time that I really fuck up is when I forget. Like literally every time that I am not working, I am actively doing something to forget the realities of like the world I exist in, right? Like the second that I start working, it's like shit feels fucked. The second that I stop working, shit feels great, which is weird, right? Because it's an opposite. As in, when I'm working, I'm moving towards a goal. When I'm not working, I'm not moving towards a goal. However, when I'm not working, like I don't know what I don't know, right? I'm not actively kind of understanding that, um, like I'm fighting against the clock, let's say. So
mm,
that's what's been happening this week. Um, but I was getting back into it on the weekend, just relearning what I've already remembering what I already learned through my poster business about the marketing things, like the attention things, and yeah, like I got back into it, and I'm on go mode again, and I'm just seeing which trying to just kind of continually like not fucking freak out because there's so many different things that I could pursue at once, and I'm trying to just trust in the
bro,
slow
it
process. But look, if it doesn't happen by the end of February, then obviously at that point, like from the outside view, you could like rethink my goal of making $1 million this year. Sure, but what can I say? Like, I just keep on going, and yeah, like I'm still committed for motive for the live event this year. Yeah,
yo, bro, like no, I've had a very similar thing, man. But you know what? For me, I don't know, like we've talked about this before. I don't know if this applies to everybody, but for me, it's when pressure is applied, I am at my maximum capacity.
mm,
And I've been spending the past few months creating artificial pressure for myself. That's why, well, it's not
yeah,
artificial anymore, but that's why I've been like striving to get more shit like on my plate. That's why I'm like grabbing everything and then cutting things down because it's better for me on a productivity standpoint to have that artificial pressure. Um, and yo, like you have to have that sense of responsibility. I don't know if it gives you that sense of responsibility, bro, but like I mean, like it comes back to when it feels existential, like
mm,
there's no way you can't do it. For me, like when something feels existential, there's no way in hell that I'm gonna fail. Because if I fail, then I die. Like that's the case.
yeah,
So, and you know what I love about this dynamic, or maybe it's just the nature of my competitiveness, but when every time I see somebody else, especially you doing something good, like I have that much more external pressure to
yeah,
drive myself forward. Maybe that comes out of the fear of being left behind, but it's a strong driving force.
Yeah, I mean that's one of
Um,
the strongest things between you and I, because I get the same thing with you, obviously. Like it's also an understanding that if you don't keep up, like the dynamic is going to become awkward because like there's our things and then there's our things and then there's like our things. Like for example, motive, and it's like like obviously we just expect each other to keep up the weight,
if the
right?
dynamic is off, if it's skewed, then there's like clearly someone that's not going to be able to
Then you're
provide
Addy,
value. If
like
if we're
what I mean, right? Like
bro, this guy, oh my God, I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed.
yeah. So yeah,
I found myself become a lot more like disciplinary, like stern. Like when someone like does something wrong, like I used to be like, that's okay,
yeah.
but now like nowadays I'm just
No,
like, nah, like this is
I know, and
this is this is you need to get your shit together.
you'll find a management style that's productive for the goals of the company, um, but aka your personal bank account. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like you just when you're on shit, you don't take shit. You know what I mean? And I was telling you about this like with the
That's
projects
fire.
we were doing. Like people were like,
Yeah.
yeah, like we'll come prepare for the next meeting. I'm like, dude, that's not saying anything. Like, what the fuck else are we gonna do? Not come prepared? Like, why are we here?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Like
So yeah,
it
the
should be
whole
ongoing iteration, right? Like
or like
I
when
shouldn't have to
you
like meet up.
yeah, or
Like
when you
we
throw a
like bro,
house party and
especially my
somebody's not
team,
acting
yeah.
right, bro. Like
Yo,
you're on
you gotta
that,
silence them, bro.
you silence them immediately. So yeah,
Bro, get out. They need to get out, bro. You
get
need to
out,
just stitch their
get this
mouth
guy
shut.
out of here.
Anyways, bro, what I was gonna show you,
Yeah, please.
um, bro, okay. I realized like all these like softwares and like these little technical tools, like when we're talking about like intuitiveness, I'm so grateful how like incredible Figma is because shit like Blender, and other like more complicated stuff, like it really takes like searching. Like it really does take searching, bro. Anyways,
What do you mean it
um,
takes searching?
like I had to, bro, like I've practiced so many times in the past like
Oh,
48 hours of trying to make
okay.
animations. I'm using Blender
Oh,
because I plan to make 3D animations, and it's also good for my art skills anyway.
yeah.
Um, yo,
Okay.
this is just simple. This is just supposed to be
Mm,
like it's supposed to be like a like just a clean one for like censorship and whatever if we needed to. And then I have another one. Um, hold on, let me get that camera. So
oh,
yeah, it's 3D on purpose. I'm trying to make it like I'm trying to have
because it will be
uh
3D. Eventually the letters will be in three dimensions.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Eventually they will be 3D. Anyways,
Eventually, no
so
developers will exist.
exactly. So this is another one. I was playing with Perlian noise and a bunch of wave functions, and I thought it was so sick. I thought the background was so sick. But yeah, this is what I was trying to do, getting this fucking thing going. Actually, um, if I cover this text, is it this one? Yeah. Wait, no. There's an So that's like, bro, I don't know. I just been playing with this shit.
Mm,
I'll get back to you on like
yeah, that was
final
interesting.
products and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. Just make sure
Yo,
that the black text stands out, or
oh yeah, I know. I only made it black
sort of
because
black.
there's a
Yeah.
white text right here.
Right, right,
But
right.
yo, so I was actually on Figma maybe for like 3 hours today. I was also trying to do animations and shit, but it didn't really work out. But yo, I was thinking about like design so much and um like bro, like, oh yeah, yo, I've been working so hard on banners and shit, bro. Okay, it's broken, whatever. I have two mouses, that's why it's fucked up. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that um, I've been looking at a lot of design,
Yeah.
and I just want to talk about design today because I find it super interesting, in the art world, like looking on this. Um, And I mean, like, look at Apple, bro. Design is gonna be like the pivotal standpoint. I hate like I think we're getting to a point where it's super like the skeuomorphic um the skeuomorphic designs, the little simplistic minimalist stuff is super saturated and super mundane nowadays. I think everybody's tired of that shit. And so for motive, like I was on Instagram looking at a bunch of different pages that low key are similar to ours, and they have a lot of the similar logos and similar designs.
Yeah.
Um, so I was just thinking about like I heard this quote from, I think it was Virgil Abloh or whatever, and he said like I have this can, right? And I could design this can, I could make it super good, or I could have a shitty can and design everything around it. And what I was thinking is like when it comes to design, because I was getting really frustrated with like the banners and stuff. I was really trying to make them a lot better. I was trying to change it up today. I was trying to like add different like ideas and whatever. And I couldn't get something that I really liked. It all looked very like mundane or derivative, and I was really frustrating to me. And I was doing it with other things as well. Like I was trying to make other art, and I was like, this is like super boring. This is super like why like nobody would even like this. Nobody does actually like shit like that. So yo, like how like what is like the essence that we're trying to capture right here? Because I think like designing something like new and innovative and something that's like or not necessarily new, but like how what are we trying to capture with Motive here? Like what's the vision? And this is important for Motive Live as well. Like what are we gonna make different as in Motive Live? Like it has to be all about that brand.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of motive starting in, you know, Ottawa is like, well, the original idea of motive when we thought of like, you know, it's like the letters with like the screen behind, and it's just like life moving behind. It's
Experiences.
right.
That's
I
it.
think of like, you know, one of the best songs ever made, Experience. Um, yeah, right. Like it really fucking captured existence. So yeah,
Mm.
let's like if we were to say experience, I would move to existence because I wish that experience was called existence. But that's also just because we were talking about resisting existence. The
Yeah.
issue is, in part, the issue is that it's just too much, like, or too broad. But at the
Hmm.
same time, it's more of a passion project. So we don't necessarily, and I don't think either of us are too keen to become like professional marketers. So we can maybe
No,
just
absolutely
make
not.
it what
But
we
I want to
want.
make something cool. Actually,
Right.
I feel like it is important. I feel like no. Our goal is to be professional marketers if we're going to be a CEO.
What I mean
If
is that
if we cannot be a
the
CEO, we have
idea
to make a
of
brand.
what I mean is the idea of existence is too broad to really capture any target niche. But at the same time, we want that for motive. Um, but it's like, well, then you make a festival, and it's like, well, what the fuck? This is not all of life. But you know, if I think about the most ideal sense, like what are we looking for in a, let's say, kind of existential vision? Um, it's like let's before space. Let's just stick with Earth here. Although it might even have like we might even have to look to like some of like the NASA branding, the SpaceX branding, to see kind of like what is that? Because I think that space travel is one of those things that probably captures. Um,
Really? That's
like
interesting.
we might have to take inspiration from that because but what we thought about is like when we were thinking about the letters in the front with the screen behind, and it's just like flickering through all these you know aspects of life, and you're just going through life, and I mean it's like I guess we just want to sort of capture the beauty of connecting with other people, but not in like, but you know, in my mind, not in like a kind of happy-go-lucky gay pride flag kind of way. More in like
No,
a like it's cool. I'm more about this.
I know what you mean. It's
It
it's it's
it's just
it
it's
encompasses both the it encompasses freedom is what it is. It should be like that utopia, not
yeah, it's
necessarily
utopia. Yeah,
an
yeah.
escape. Not it shouldn't
That's
be
what I'm.
a version of escape.
That's what I'm thinking. Right?
It
It's
should
like
be the
it's
full human experience.
right. It's not. It's not you, and the beauty in all of it. Not
It's
that
not
you sort of
Coachella,
come
it's not a
home.
concert, it's not
Right.
a
We have to look at more.
party.
It's life. Right? So
That's what it
that
should
if
represent.
people if let's say somebody if anybody 10, 5. 5 could not probably say it in these, like these terms. Um, 15, 20, 25, 30, and on all the way up to, how old you can be. If But let's take a look at something kind of similar to us, like easy. If a 15-year-old who's like, you know, just your average 15-year-old, male and female, would sit down and you ask them what it is, and they're just like, and they said exactly what I said, like they're lost for words. Number one, loss of words. I'm lost for words in order to explain what it is because it just comes everything. It's just life. Like if they said that, then we've won,
Mm.
right? So
But how do we
basically,
get that?
so
And
of course
I
that is
think
there's the gap.
I
There's
think
the gap.
that feeling for me when I go to this like really powerful things, I get the overlooming sense that I should just remember this.
Mm,
Like if I'm having an overwhelmingly pleasant experience, I'm just thinking, "Oh God, I hope I remember this moment." And I think if you can get that future nostalgia, like preemptive nostalgia, as in like you will remember this at some point, that will be perfect. And that comes with making a good experience, but I think it's more. I think it's just like it has to encompass novelty and it has to encompass I think I think some beautiful sense of order. It can't
yeah,
be just like because like if you look at a carnival like people waiting in line and shit, or like people,
right.
like being passive. There's a lot of passive things in a carnival, and carnivals are actually really fun. And we compared it to that, that Euphoria scene. But if you look at the Euphoria scene, that was actually really active. Like that was an incredibly active scene. So how can we expand that? And we don't want it to go so far as it becomes like a club, because group activities, yeah,
Listen,
sure,
the
but like if
the
it's
thing
like
is,
a
the reality
mass,
of all these events is they're all shit. Like their advertisements don't necessarily capture fully what we want to capture, but they're sort of a derivative of it, right? They're a niche of this whole life thing. But the other, like, just like on the ground, I mean, lines, clubs are, I don't even know who likes clubs. Shy people, and just aka 90%, but like not shy, but you know what I mean, like 90% of people not being able
yeah,
to
yeah,
fit in,
passive,
you know?
passive.
Yeah, like it. The event itself has to be, what should it do? Because how can you create something fun, but then it's not escapism, but then it's not growth, and it's not forest. So it's active, but it's not forced. It's
Okay,
like,
okay. There's a spectrum that we're talking about. So it's like the differences between like a convention, like an award ceremony. So that's like really tame, really like direct. Actually, a convention would be a good example of it. And then to a festival, like a carnival. Happy, blah blah blah, less orderly, but a lot of fun. Then you have something like a convention, which is like typically to be connecting like influencers or like people to speakers
yeah,
and etc. It's for
yeah.
people to meet people. So like imagine like VidCon, but like with more fun shit to do. Like imagine if VidCon had a concert.
What if it was like like a music festival, but there's more community to it? Like you actually feel engaged with the people around you.
That's the point. That's the point.
There's a
How do we
shared
how do we do
appreciation.
that though? How do we do that?
Um,
A community. What makes up a community? Well, people, leaders, like group
yeah, there's
activities,
leaders.
a common thing to relate to. I mean, what we can capitalize, especially, which is not something we directly want to impose because we don't want to separate our groups. But I mean, like, you can look at individuals like it could be Andrew Tate. Obviously, that's an end of the spectrum, but
Yeah, like
like
I
if
think
you
like
advertise it as
I
a
think like Miami
convention,
Hack Week has like houses, and then like each house has like there's like hard tech, like crypto software. You know what I mean?
Miami Hack Week.
Yeah, like it's a hackathon. Like it's a week long hackathon, but then people go into like their own houses, and obviously these houses are like pretty nice. And yeah, like you'll each
That's
like
sick.
different kind of you know sector of tech has like their own house, and you chill with people
Mm.
there.
Hackathons are really interesting. I have one this week, actually.
Right.
Um, hackathons are really interesting because they're like conventions, but like there's a centrist goal. Like there's a lot of things to do around it, and that's like the whole point. But most of the time, like there's a common activity. Like there's a single activity actually, and it's like a competition. That would be interesting. What if it's like a hmm, like an artathon? Nah. I mean, like, what about dance competitions, art competitions, hacking competitions?
You
What
said
if
it's
what
not
if
like
we had the
Coachella, but why
people?
not? Yeah, what were you saying?
Pardon?
What if we
Yo,
had the
Coachella is
people?
interesting. Coachella's like the thing is though, Coachella is
What's the issue with
like who the
Coachella?
fuck goes to Coachella?
Everybody.
Celebrities.
Well, that's part
Like
of why it's so cool.
what is Coachella? Like what
Well,
is
it's a
Coachella?
music festival, then there's like art pieces around there's like huge art pieces around the grounds.
Mm. And that would be the dream as well. I would want stuff like that
Like
on par with it.
it really does look, it really does feel euphoric, like in the movies, anyways. And then when you come,
Hmm.
I'm sure that's what they're going for, so they probably get it, right? And like people love live music, so um, we're like I like the discovery here, but um, where we are right now is it feels like we're trying to find something that doesn't exist. So let's keep going with that. Um,
Yeah, that's the
I
point. That's the point.
Right, that's the point.
Yeah, like what doesn't exist at a live event? Like let's say, okay, why don't we just identify what we don't want first, okay? For one, we don't want like we don't want escapism vibes. What does that entail? We don't want like heavily intoxicated people to be okay. Like that
See,
shouldn't be okay.
that's the thing though. Like entertainment is escapism from like from a status quo. The status quo, entertainment equals escapism. It's like
But do we want to levy the status quo? Is that what we're trying to appeal to
no,
here?
of
Are we
course
trying to
not.
appeal
No, of
to
course not. I'm just pointing out.
No, but like
Well,
really though, are we? Are we? Like what's the question here? Like are we trying to make like a business convention? Are we trying to make like high class mentality like party to Ibiza type shit? Like Andrew Tate Con. Like what is that? What does that mean to you if you saw something like that?
if I heard that, yo, it sounds like something about money making. It sounds gonna be like they're gonna be teaching about the real world, and the same things that they would teach there, they would just teach them in person. Okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
How does that appeal to you though?
It doesn't, like, when we it's just ironic because obviously
Mm.
this is a business podcast, but like Motive was meant to be a music festival, right? So it's like
Mhm.
I don't like I don't an educational aspect in my mind doesn't necessarily have any place in that. I mean, I'm here to
No,
make
I
people.
agree. It's not.
I feel like we
It
should make
shouldn't
people
be.
feel good.
It should be
If education is
indirectly
part of
teaching
that,
them.
what are we teaching them?
The moment should be like it should be indirectly teaching them like through the moment.
Mm,
Like for example, like it's like witnessing. Like if you witness somebody top shit, you're gonna be like, oh, that's top shit. I want to be a part of that. That's the kind of vibe that it should. Well, I don't know, but that's what it could be. It could be like people look at like if you look at Coachella, you think, oh, celebrities are going here. There's like high status, whatever, fashion, etc. Actresses, actors. Like somebody who
yeah,
might want to be an actor thinks, oh, this is a good life. Maybe I want to live that. If
yeah,
you had something like if there was Lamborghinis posted up in front of the like
mm.
the fucking Motive banner at the entrance, you'd be like, shit, what am I in for? Is there gonna be people with Lamborghinis in here? Like indirectly teaching you like, oh, this is the life that people live. It's giving that lifestyle sense. Like what's the
So,
feeling? What are we leaving these people with?
well, where are we? Okay. See, I don't know because it feels like you're implying that we go for everybody. Your visa thing, like, originally that was part of it. But I don't know if that feels too like too little, or too like too niche. Um,
Well, what's different from
because what's
like
cool to me is not cool to a million other people.
of course, but that's why it's a niche, right? Like I wouldn't personally want to go to many music festivals myself. Like I wouldn't want to do that a lot. I might do that maybe once or twice in like 5 years, but I wouldn't want to do one every year. Like I'd get exhausted of it. So
Hmm.
like there is obviously a niche.
So
Like some
how would
people
you
don't want to do that. Some people-
so how would you change it then? Like, because the thing is, right now we're still just creating, like a cooler music festival, which is pretty much just another music festival. And there's like shit ton of music festival, which is fine, but at the same time, it's like, you know, okay, it's another
What
music
about like a
festival,
museum?
a museum.
Something like a museum is hella observant. It's very passive. But the one goal is to observe. Like if you go to an art museum, a lot of people are like sharing experiences with the art. How do you communitize that? How do you bring that like a more group activity where people are observing art? If the music festival is the art, you're looking at all these artists present, but that's too much. But well, we would want to finish off that way anyway. But in the meantime, like what's the buildup? It should be like a story, as you said, like it's experience. It should be treated like experience. It should have like inciting incident, like denouement,
Mm,
and the climax. That's how it should be organized. We should tell a story through the event. And you know what? Actually, this
that's
brings me up on
interesting.
something that I realized in my house. My house is like very like linear, as in like there's a lot of clutter, or like the way things are organized, um, are like packed, but it's linear. So like I may not have like there's not a lot of empty space, but everything that has that space filled has like a purpose for that, and it's literally like a straight line. Like you go here, okay, this is my food, then I go to the dining room, eat my food, then after I eat my food, I go to the bench press and I work out, and then I go on the couch, and I go upstairs. Like there's no room to sit down. There's only room to cycle through it. So if you made like I don't know, a labyrinth of sorts of art for people to observe, and at the end of that labyrinth, they come out to the music festival, I think that'd be pretty interesting. You had like a bunch of these landmarks. For example, I mean, look at like Disney World. Disney World does that pretty well, or like Calypso. Like all the cool rides are in the back. You have all the beta shit in the front. Um, and actually for Omega Park, have you ever been to Omega Park in Gatineau? It's so fire. I love that
No.
place. It was super interesting. If honestly, if I get like that inspired me, if I have like the ability to purchase land close to the city, like that much land, I would make something like that. Oh, it's
Is
actually Oh, that's actually perfect. Hold on. Can I get this? Okay. No, I can't. Well, I'm not gonna get a chair to pull that down, but that's a map of Omega Park. So
mm-hmm.
it starts off at the front. It's like like entire labyrinth. Well, it's kind of linear, but like it's like a bunch of like there's a bunch of animals and where they keep them at the front, and you have to get past all of these levels. You have to see all these different type of animals. You have to go in a circle, whatever, follow the path, and then at the end you get to this beautiful lodge. Like there's like a bunch of houses, like it's an open field. It's like you're trekking through this forest, right? And at the end, you come through and like I kid you not, it was straight out of like a Christmas movie. Like it literally felt like I was walking in a journey. Like I was seeing all this shit, and it was maybe like 3 hours where Cal and I were driving around in the forest looking to where to go. And by the end of it, like I thought it'd be over, and then I come out of the car and it's like a completely different environment. There's like gift shops, there's like fucking
Mm,
like snow hills,
yeah,
there's like it's a bunch of cabins. It literally looked like a Christmas town. And I thought that was super interesting because
yeah,
I thought it had been over. There's a lot of this content that you see, and it's not
yeah.
like super crazy, but once you get there,
I know what you mean.
so
As in
so
like
beautiful.
it's like a story and a journey, and you just like learn things that you didn't expect to learn. As in like, oh, it's over, and then like, oh, it's not over. Almost kind of like a psychedelic trip in a movie. Um,
Mm,
when you're with people. So yeah, like I wrote that down. But other things I want to add are people come with their friends, and that's probably why they're there. They're there to experience something with people, because this occurs to me a lot, which is like, okay, we coexist with people, but then you have your friends, and then it's like shit. Like, what do you do, right? Like, well, you just hang out. So people just come, and then they're using that. They're basically paying money to
mm,
to spend time with their people. And we talked about this a lot. back in like the end of grade 12, we're like talking about like, is it about the person? Is it about the event around you, right? So people aren't necessarily there to fucking, like have coincidental link ups with like new people. Um,
No, no, no. They're trying to
Also,
be with their
okay,
boys.
you talk about your experience. I'll talk about mine. I always envisioned this ridiculous music festival where you have like, well, I think it started back when I would hear like, online there'd be these remixes of songs, right? And you would have like like an EDM remix of a pop song, or like an EDM remix of like a hip hop song. But I was like, well, you always just have like the singer singing it, or you have the DJ running it. Why can't you have the singer singing it with the DJ playing it, and it's like they only sing like when it's like their part in the
Mm.
remix? Or like I think of like I think like this would be, and then I had this one in like vision where I don't know if you remember this like TikTok remix of like it was Bruno Mars and Adele, but basically the point is like if you like let's say like you mash up two songs, right? Like at music festivals typically you just have one artist come on and then one artist come off, right? And then they do their set, right? And they're just paid for that time. But what would really be sick, impossible from a financial standpoint, but sick is like if you have these like crazy mashups, like basically like think of it as like somebody writes a whole score based on the most relevant artist at the time. An artist might be here literally sing one song at the whole festival. All it is they pull up, they sing it, and then based on like that actual score, it will transition into the other artist just like that. So here I might even play it. Like you'll definitely know it right away when I play it. Um, but like for example, let's say we have a pop song remixed with a string quartet, right? We want to create a show where the pop singer is there and then the string quartet is also there playing it with them as though it's like perfectly rehearsed, right? But then the string quartet is just as important from a visual standpoint to like, I don't know, you might have like they're kind of floor being up, and obviously it can't be corny, it has to be um, like very professionally done. So that was always like my vision of kind of the best thing on earth, which is just like this, you know, like ridiculously, like almost like perfectly rehearsed thing where
Hmm.
like instead of but instead of like artists having them come to their set, it's like we own the whole thing. You're our pawn. We tell you essentially what you're going to do in here, and you just come in and play your role in like however much time, uh, in
It's
however much
it's
time. So
interesting. It's
it's
interesting. I think I think
it's almost like a club, except every song is actually sung in person by the artist.
Yo, yeah, I know what you mean, bro. That's
Right.
fire. It's interesting. Like what I described was everything around the festival, like leading up to the to
So,
the to the main piece, which is what you're talking
but
about. It's like building everything around
but
what
we're
you're
already
talking about, which is
but
the
interestingly,
central piece.
we're already moving away from, even with what I said, it's already moving away from artist centric to motive centric, aka let's say consumer centric. Maybe not, because maybe consumers just want to see the artist, which I think is typically more so what happens. Like most people aren't really concerned with experience like we are, like our music and shit. Like most people are just fans of
Well,
Cardi B.
that's why I think like the music festival is incredibly niche. And that's why I think carnivals have like a bunch of different like things for other people, right? Like if you look at carnivals, they have a bunch of different rides, a bunch of different events. Not everybody goes to those events. Um, Not everybody goes to the same thing. Like for example, Saunders Farm is a really good um reference to this. Like they have a lot of like individual experiences. They don't have a big event, which is like whatever, but like some people like the side thing. Some people like the build up. And what I'm saying is
That's true.
like I'm saying like making a build up to the climax, which is what you're speaking of. The ideal sense, as you're saying, like yes, we should absolutely like the central aspect is the music festival. Um, but like Virgil Abloh said, was having that everything around the can, right? Like you have a really good can, and you can also have a really good environment for the can.
Yeah.
And if you
Okay. I
build
see what you
that
mean.
like you know what I mean? Like I'm not shitting on your idea. I'm saying like it's in
What I was
tandem
talking
with it.
about is
We
what
should
I was
have
talking about is that already like what I'm saying is moving away from an artist centric festival to like it's more about like our Like it's about the whole thing together. And then
Like
you're and
like
then
a high school dance.
right, and then
That's
you're
what I was
saying, and then wait, when you add no, because what I am suggesting, kind of like as an extreme, is forget the can as a center. It just all works together. As in, like the music is both the main thing, but it also is supporting the it's also supporting um like the experience. So basically, what I'm saying is like we don't have any one thing be like necessarily
Mhm.
something like we're like, oh, it's about this. We're like, it's about the experience. What can add to this? Oh, music happens to add to this. Which is another thing, by the way, like this is idealistic, but in my mind, with this music festival, is like this would have to be run by somebody who's like an industry head with a lot of. This would basically have to be run by somebody who the artist cannot say no to, and they would just show up. It's more like a thing like they just show up to pay
Yo,
their dues. Like
where's
they
the
don't even.
boy who started Fire Festival, man?
Right,
Where's Fire
right.
Festival, bro?
It's basically like the artist would just have to show up to pay their dues, like it's or just because it's like part of the culture or whatever. It's not like well, like that could be a thing, right? Like it wouldn't make no business sense, right? So idealistically, I think like motive has to be like our it has to be like our creative baby and not a a business marketing project.
No,
Of
no,
course,
absolutely
of
not.
course, that relies on us um, having actual business success outside of it to fund it. But then again, festivals don't even make
Well,
that much
yeah,
money
at
anyways.
the rate at which we're
So
speaking of, like that is a highly capital intensive project. But that's fine because, as you said, like it should be a creative baby. Like what I
okay,
always
so yeah, so
like.
let's forget about the others. We'll just position it. We'll just position it well once it comes to the communication aspect. Let's just focus on
Of course, of course, of course.
what we would
But
want.
on the experience end,
Okay,
like I truly envision it as like it should be like a journey. I absolutely think that. I think like there should be a central aspect, but it should be like a lot of moving parts as you would in a
okay.
like
So
a
we
theme
need
park.
it. There has to be a score for the whole thing. The music is just
What you mean?
playing like like when you see, for example, imagine you see a musical, right? There's a ton of different songs, but like you
Oh,
have
yeah, yeah, yeah.
somebody tie it all in together, right? Like predeterminedly, right? So we predeterminedly have a like I don't know, let's say 20 hours long soundtrack, right?
Oh, wow. Congratulations, Hattie.
Oh,
Did you
yo,
lose? You better have fucking won.
we were so close, bro. Dude, it's not easy lobbies, bro. It's not
Oh
easy.
my god, guys playing Minecraft.
We don't have losers in this chat. I'm
Did you
just kidding. We
cancel
can
him?
have Hattie.
Did you
I
cancel
kicked
him?
him for the group. I
Oh,
did.
that's
I
so
did.
fucked. I thought you.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god. Wow.
Funny joke.
We
Alright.
don't have losers in this chat, Hattie.
Oh my god.
Only
I,
top G's.
I realistically, in my heart, that was the dub. That was a dub. That's all I
No,
did.
realistically, in your heart, you failed. Listen,
No,
Yo,
it's
you
all good.
skipped this pod,
listen.
your duty,
I
to
didn't
play
skip
a
it.
Minecraft tournament.
I did as didn't think it would take more than 3 hours. I was actually gonna make it, but like I played these before, and it's never taken over 3 hours. Straight up, like
Oh, it's
yes,
okay,
my bad.
Hattie. You know what?
I should have told
That's
you.
true. That's
This is
true.
my
Hattie,
fault.
Hattie,
I
it's
didn't think about
okay.
that
Just
part. I didn't think about
next
that part.
time, if you decide to skip,
Notify you.
you better
Notify you.
win. You better win.
Yo, my
I
favorite
wanted to see that cash, and you should have given us 50% if
one
you
of my
won. What it
yeah,
was?
that's
It was
true.
like a McDonald's gift card or
One
something.
So blows, bro. It was like I was gonna get 50, bro. Sorry, but it's
one
alright.
of
Anyways,
my favorite Twitter
I
videos is when Aiden
I
Ross
should have
is
just
like,
told you like I was gonna run late.
"Yo, Andrew, what's good?" And then Tate is just there like, "Yeah, it's nice seeing you." And he's like, "Bro, we haven't seen each other in so long. Oh my god." And Andrew's like, it definitely has been a long time."
bro, Andrew
Like you're
Tate
gonna
is
say
yo that character. He can't even. Yo, it's so funny had to like watching him with Aiden Ross because he actually like he keeps up his character only half the time. It's so funny.
I
It's so funny
okay.
because now like Yo, he actually likes Aiden too. That's so wholesome.
So
I know you wish you were Aiden right now.
I do, bro. What do you mean? I was
You wish
literally
you were
like, yeah,
pudgy Aiden?
okay, no, not like that. I just wish I was. I wish I was in contact with Pop, although he's in jail, so I guess not. But dude, I was really considering right before
Yo,
the link up.
there.
I was considering. I'm like, yo, if I just like call Andrew Tate on stream right now and tell him to send me a one-way ticket to Dubai, and then I'll just like be under him, like just like learn from him. Would he be down to do that? Under the fact that it's kind of whack for me to just like leave university and just go to Dubai with no
Nah,
going
he
back.
would. He would respect that. If you framed it that way, if you'd be like, "Yo, Andrew Tate, um, one-way ticket to Dubai. I'll drop everything to learn from
Yeah,
you because I'm
yeah. That's
done being
basically
broke." He'd be like,
that's basically what I was thinking of doing. But yeah, I kind of pussied out, and then Aiden came along. So there you go.
you have to have big dick cock energy to do that. You have to be like ripped. You have to be a kickboxer. You have to really appeal to his humanity because he'll fuck with that. You have to be good at chess. Oh, that'd be
Mm.
Chad. If you could beat him at chess and then
If I
ask him
beat
for
you at
that,
chess, damn,
one-way ticket to Dubai. Just get like a
damn.
hack, like a fucking like a thing in the shoe, like the guy did when he beat Magnus Carlsen. Yo, anyways,
The thing is,
motive,
I should
bro.
not, because if it failed, I could have
What's
just
the
bought a ticket
motive?
back.
Wait, what?
The thing is, I should have done that because if it failed, I could have just bought a ticket back like the next weekend. Damn, that's crazy. Anyways, um,
Why didn't you? You could have. Yeah.
yeah, shit. Anyways, here we
So,
are in Kitchener. Um, Ottawa soon. Then, then, then the
yeah.
world. Then the world. Um,
Oh yeah. Then Mars. Then Andromeda.
okay, so
Yo, okay, bro. We need to have like when we really think about it, like we really need to be like not even just different, but like it has to be experience centric. Like I don't want no fucking shitty carnival games.
okay,
Like
yeah.
I want
Yo,
when I
let's just
envision it, I envision this entire like I literally picture it as like a house of cards, like a house party even. Like there's a bunch of these different rooms that encapsulate a bunch of different energies. For
mm,
example, like you go to this room, it's like what group is in there, right? Like okay, these people. Like let's say like Dushan's party was a good example.
yeah,
You go into
yeah,
one
yeah,
room,
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
chill, low key. People are goofing around, recording videos, doing like like smash or pass type
yeah,
shit. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. Right, right. It
then
has to
then
be
we could have
like that video, just like in life.
yeah. It has to be encouraging that. I think especially as well. Um, I think we have to incorporate like active participation as in like creation. And if we can get like content creation or like like a big mural, like I was thinking like maybe
Yeah,
get like generative art on the screen and you can input something and then it'll add you or whatever you tried to that projector, right? And maybe I'll do something crazy or
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, yeah.
But
Right, right,
these
right.
things could literally be just like it could just be like a projector like projecting some screen onto like a big wall or multiple projectors, like a 360 projector on four walls or like a bunch of screens that we have. And it could be like something cool that's interactive. Like it literally could just be that. Or it could be like like there could be like I don't know, like a calm room or some shit like that. But like it should be a bunch of these spaces that conglomerate and really surmise the experience that we're trying to get out to. And then it all coalesces together at this big centrist um I guess like fucking dance floor where there's music playing, there's a bunch of like hype shit, there's food, whatever. But I really think like there should be I think for one there should be elements that we can have like themes across different like there should be themes like like the Met Gala where they have like camp whatever like it should be like that where there's like an overarching theme but it all encapsulates different experiences within that theme and then it converges to one single thing that's also dope. Like for example like let's say we have like a rap festival for the one time and we have all these different rooms encapsulating whatever these artists are about maybe even
Mm,
the keynote rappers the headliners it could be like maybe like there could be a room that's like making a 3D representation with holograms of like album covers or
yeah.
you know what I mean like it could be shit like
Okay.
that of like the people playing like it could or let's say we have like a 2010 or like a rock style like motive world And then we have like, like 80s references and like the Cold War, whatever, like some dope shit. Like it should
Mhm.
encapsulate the experience we're trying to give off. And I think that's what we should be. It should be us like an experience centric time where, we iterate upon these things, but we have like a bunch of things that stack up and build up and then eventually lead to this big stage. So that's what I envisioned when I thought about Motive World. I envision like
Yeah.
us just traveling with the boys, saying like, "Oh, that's so sick, let's do that," and we'd be like, "Oh, nice, this is sick. Okay, next one," and then the next one, and they're like, "Oh
Go
shit,"
through it. Yeah.
and even still, you could have like speakers, or like maybe you could have like what I always fucked with is that like in the distance they'd be like the sound of like the concert at the end, or like the sound of like the people dancing, like a Relay
Right, right.
for
It's
Life.
like you're moving to it, you get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer.
Exactly. Like
Right,
yo, Relay for Life
right.
was such a good example. We had so many different
Yeah, real
experiences and
life
whatever.
people
That was sick as fuck.
are always like running towards. Yeah, yeah. I know, and I think when you're saying that, I'm actually a little bit thinking of Relay for Life, at least subconsciously. Um, actually, yeah, I am thinking of Relay for Life subconsciously. It's exactly like that. And then you always hear it in the distance, right? Because wow, this is deja vu. Like you would go off to the event, right? And then you hear
Yeah.
it, and
You'd hear
then
the
speakers get
cheers.
quieter and quieter and quieter as you hear the cheers of the event more and more and more and more, and then vice versa as you're coming back to the main stage.
Right, bro. It's like when you're in your house and you hear children playing at the park. That's the vibe it should get off. You're
Mm,
like, "Oh shit, like what's going on?" Like I should be able to get there. And there should be a little bit of friction that stops you from getting there, but it should be so encapsulating.
you
Like
have
we
to
should have
try.
literally like mini
Yeah,
speakers.
right. You have to.
Like
You
like
have to.
like mini speakers like around the thing where it like says like you can hear it a little bit, like it tweaks it. If it's far away,
And
you can
there
hear
has to
what's
be there
happening.
has to be a real chance that you can't get there, as in like some sort of, as you said, friction, some sort of like you have to like
Yeah.
pass some sort of test, right? But like again, it just can't be
Oh, that
fake.
would
That's
be
the thing, right?
sick.
Like it can't be some like bullshit like Disney guy dressed up in a Mickey Mouse suit thing. Nor can it be like, like I think that people have to have the right mindset too, because it's hard to help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. Which is why, like, by the way, when I used to think this, I'm like, okay, like how would this be priced? And I was always thinking like, yeah, it'd be crazy if like you had like a portal for like people who like somehow like they pass the test, like they get it in for cheap or even for free. Like you literally have people come in. Like okay, the idea would
I
always
was
be
just
that you
thinking,
you have you have bitches come in for free, right? And then they're like part of the video, right? And then or like, but the thing is, I'm saying like it could actually be priced, like the price could be like very very high, right? Because you make sure that people who want to go there really really want to go. Like it's not just another thing they're checking off their list, right? So you make sure that everybody who's there really really wants to be there, right? So the price is very high, and
well,
then
like
this
fucking like look at like Rolling Loud. It's like fucking $300 a ticket.
that's
Like it
typical
could
though.
be
That's typical.
that's what I'm saying. Like it
I'm
could
I'm
like
saying I'm
people
talking like
people
I'm
who
talking
are
like 700.
going there, they're willing to spend that money. They're willing to
I'm
spend the
talking
money.
I'm talking like 700, but then somehow over time at least, because 300 is a typical festival, bro. 300 is a typical music festival, 3 days, right? So that's typical. That's not even a Canadian price. Um, so I'm saying it's like very very expensive. I guess we just have different ideas of what expensive is, and then somehow over time, but even in the start, you just identify people who are like real about it, especially like for younger people who can't afford to pay. Like you identify people who are real about it, and then you discount them through some sort of like NFT style community. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like it
just
has to
part of
be
it, right?
somewhere
So
where like
basically,
they
we
they
have some way to identify like
provide
people who
value
are
for that.
really about it, right? Like people who will, and by being there, they'll obviously
Competition,
give off. Okay,
competitiveness.
because
Like yo, what
it's
like
almost like
what if there's
it's
like
almost like you're
but like
scouting
what if there's
people
like a
to
VIP
pull
pin?
up.
What?
It's almost like you're scouting people to come. You know what I mean? You're scouting the right people to
Exactly. It
join
should
the
have that
event.
level of exclusivity. It should be artificial exclusivity where you get this conception that you like earned it to get in, but in reality, like maybe 80% of the people who compete get in.
But not
Like
necessarily,
it
because
should give
the reason that I
that
said it should be
scarcity.
priced high is because we want to make sure that everybody who's there actually wants to be there like a lot and is adding to the vibe, right? So maybe it should be that
Or
exclusive.
yeah, okay. No, you're right. Like it's
especially
not like
especially for like
exclusive in the
especially
sense
for
of like
like the main kind of aura of it, right? Like the idea of if I'm in the middle and then I have like five people around me who look like they're having fun, so it's like we can like drop in just like pay people who pay, but like you know what I mean. There's a whole system around it.
mm.
But as for the experience itself,
No, I think this is sick. I can already picture it, bro. Like dead ass we could make like a fucking little like you know what we could do? We could make like like a model of this, like an idea of it, and then place it where we at, and then like yo, like there's a lot of ways you can pay for it. You can make like sponsored events and shit, whatever. But like yo, like the even like the hype towards it, it has to build up to this as well. I think that would be a great way to promote it. If you get these people who are trying to compete, like they talk about it, like they create content towards
Mm.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, like if you said like yo, make a TikTok about it, or
Right. We
like
have to
make
do a lot of sweepstakes.
like you know it's dope, like Adult Swim. I fucked with Adult Swim. Have you seen that like that TikTok channel on Adult Swim?
No, what is that?
Like it played that like Hattie, do you know what I'm talking about? Where it was running away is easy. It's a leaving that's hard. Boom, boom. Yo, I'll show it to you. But there was
Yeah.
this trend on TikTok where it basically like bunch of people made like a bunch of like weird little things and it promoted Adult Swim really heavily. And in fact they tried to do it again because they thought it was hype. It didn't catch on, but um yo, it was
Oh,
like
are you talking about the cable channel?
so it's literally like
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what Adult Swim.
nah,
Are you
okay,
just
it was
unaware?
I am
like it's
not
like this
aware.
current trend, right? Like people are doing like oh, never mind, I can't find it. Yo, it'd be like shitty little things like this, and
Right.
like I don't know if this is one. They try to do okay. No, this I did this shit, bro. No Adult Swim.
Well, if it's
But
just a
there'd be like
TikTok thing, then obviously I would be out of touch of because I
nah,
just
there was some really good ones. I actually want to try to find one that's
How do you
good.
download TikTok?
Oh, this one's good. This one's good. When it dries out, like it was like a. Is this it?
Bro, it's about to be a long video though.
Oh, do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it?
Well, they're drying it out little by little.
No,
the
no, no. It's dry. Yeah, it's drying out in
the
it's drying out in adults like the Adult Swim logo.
oh
Like
Oh,
shit
okay.
like
I see.
that.
I see. I see. Oh,
You
it's
know where
like
you
whoever
incorporate?
makes the most like creative thing.
Yeah, like you incorporate like the logo into something just like
Yeah,
purely
sure.
creative and
Dude,
shit like that.
it's even like, if you want your art
that
to be
sounds cool.
displayed, just like put it on TikTok and then whichever one gets the most views. Or like if you want, and then we'll just like if you want to be perform whatever, right? So yeah, there's all that. Yeah.
Yo, but back to the actual experience itself, man. Like I really like the idea of like to be honest, our prom was not the best example of what we're trying to accomplish because the prom like it was more like a club vibe and that would be good, but like it's too like that can't encapsulate the whole thing. I think like a high school dance is better because like or like even a house party. It's the
It's
same division
nostalgic.
where it's like or it's not even nostalgic. Well, of course it's nostalgic, but like that's what we're trying to go for that present nostalgia feeling that but it's also like we're trying to encapsulate like the vibe where like you can stand back and observe. You can get the bigger picture.
Mm,
Like
mm,
you could we
interesting.
should even have like platforms, like a stadium, but like a stand where you can stand up and look at it from afar and get really scenic shots because like
Yeah,
you see this and you're a part of it
like a
and it has
hill.
like a lot of good vibes. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be dope. Because imagine if you like have you seen what is it TD the TD place or no
yeah,
sorry like
yeah, yeah.
you know like
You can go on the hill.
Lansdowne.
Yeah, you can go on the hill and see the whole
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
there's like
yeah,
a cool little arch and shit. And imagine if you had like a thing at the bottom, like you would be on this hill. Probably a lot of people would actually. They'd look down and they'd see like, oh shit, like this is what I'm actually a part of this. You know, you have to give like it has to be you have to be able to both come back to the moment and see the entire picture.
I
And that's experience.
I
You're
really
able to
like
remember and see the bigger picture in hindsight. Hindsight's 2020. And if you get this panoramic view of what's going on, like imagine you go through this journey, right? And then you have access to like this big shot and a thing. You can see a bird's eye view of everything that you just saw, maybe things you hadn't seen yet, and also the big event. You know, like that would be really interesting if we had it like if we had the place building up to the thing, like it's a play structure. And then like you can there's like a second
and
levels,
then
and then at the top level you can see down, and then you also can like slide down to the
yeah,
thing or whatever. You can
it's
like
almost like getting there is hard. It's like climbing Mount Everest, but then once you get to the top, you see it, and then you're like you just run towards it.
Yeah.
That's something I really like about Lance Island. It's so open, you know. Like I went there the other time. And I went on the hill. Like you could see
Mm-hmm.
everything.
That's
Yeah.
So
interesting. It's so open, but the only reason that it feels open is because it's so deep in the city and you have places of reference. You have claustrophobia counteracting that openness. And if we can capture like a sense of claustrophobia to a small degree, but then have that big openness at the end, that further pulls the drive for people to go through that. Because maybe people will run through the experience, but like once you're there, like there has to be direct friction where you can't just go straight to the thing unless it's an emergency, of course. But like you should have to go through all these levels and then like it's so freeing once you get there. That should be the nature of it,
yeah,
where you have all these things building up to it and you have to go and build up to it, and then at the end it's a freeing thing. It seems like you can see the bigger picture. Like I imagine it, like I literally imagine like us and the boys going through like, oh, like look at that, like that's a cool booth, that's a photo booth, let's go take photos. Okay, shit, let's go this way. Oh, yo, it's like a, like I don't even fucking know, like, oh, look at this art exhibit. This is dope. And then you look back and it's like, oh, it's a skating rink. How the fuck is this? This is like a racetrack. And
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, there's like a there's like a gym here. Oh, people are working out doing weightlift competitions. Oh shit, dance
Yeah, we
battle.
need a
Oh
gym, by the way.
shit.
I was gonna say we need to
That would
get,
be
yeah,
sick.
yeah, bro. We need to get
We need to get that shit.
we need to
It's
get our
super competitive.
boy to set up a gym there.
Mm, real, real. We got you,
Yeah.
bro. We got it. Our boy. Who's our boy?
Um. Anyways.
Yo, but like, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's all these little things where you experience in a group setting, and then it'd be super artistic, super played out, and then at the end of it, you like climb stairs, you see this big window, and then you have like maybe an elevator even, or like a fucking like a crane or like a slide. You get down there, and you're like, shit, it's starting now, and that's the vibe. I think that'd be a great and then the central thing, like, I think like if we build all these things around it and just make the concert itself like good enough, everything it'll be such an incredible experience. And then even better if we make the concert super fire, then that status quo is the bar is lifted and then people are like, oh shit, this was so sick, this was so fun. I think yo, like I think we could even have like it's like a haunted house or some shit. Like we could have
Yeah.
like some goofy ass shit where it just leads up to this moment, and then when you get there, it's like it felt like you did some work to get there. That's what it should feel like. It felt like you
Mm-hmm.
did something to deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it should feel like. That's the
Yeah.
experience. The
Yeah.
whole time we'll also just have an undertone of Ludivoco's track playing in the background,
Uh,
bro. That'd be
yeah.
so fire. But yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I think that's my vision for Motive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
So how are we gonna execute it, bro? How are we gonna execute?
good question.
Yeah.
Take some thinking to do. It's a good question.
Yo, we'll have a
Okay.
Minecraft tournament for you in the
Sorry.
mid in the
I thought you
middle of
had a
the
question. It's like I want to be less before execution. One has to be like less modular. It can't just be like, oh, let's do this. Oh, do you want to do this? Oh, you do want to do this? Kind of like carnival rides. Like it has to all work together for one. Um,
What do you mean?
like it has to be all part of one story.
Oh, of course, of
But
course, of course. I'm
it
not
just
saying
can't
it
be
should be
so
like,
like segmented.
no, you're right. Like it has to be orderly. Like it can't be chaotic, but it has to. I'm just get
There
I
has
like
to
I
be
have no
a
idea.
purpose. Yeah, I know. Me neither.
I have
There
no
has to be
idea
like
like what it could actually be.
there
Because
has to be like a
how
purpose
could we
to all
like
this.
incorporate, like, what would be the purpose? Like maybe you're making drinks at the start. Like maybe you're like
You have to
making
like
drinks, or maybe you're making beats.
discover. It has to be like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it has to be like you have to only discover the kind of solution at the end. Um,
It's a creative task. It's not.
maybe
It
like
doesn't have a.
a murder mystery type of thing, kind of vibe. Not
That would be
actually a murder
fun.
mystery, but it's like
I know what you mean.
you know those movies, right, about like the crazy murder mysteries with like the
Yeah,
billionaire's
yeah, yeah. Like
house, right? Like it has to be kind of like that, where like we get a ton of
it's
people,
like
but
you're
they
discovering shit.
right, yeah, it has to be a process of discovery. Right, it has to be like
Mm.
almost like skiing in like the kind of marked off area, you know, like, oh fuck, Gunna's on stage, but like me and my like, yo, check this out, like right over here, you know, it's just like a little like there's like a little spark, like, oh, what's this? Like it's just like a little
Mm.
leprechaun leads you into the forest.
How do you even encapsulate that? Like
How do you encapsulate that
what
outside
would
of
that even
virtual
look like?
reality? I don't know.
What if you could use virtual reality?
Usually, I
What
mean,
if
yeah,
you
no,
have to
Disney does this.
find what if you have to find your ticket in order to get it? Like you pay to get in, but if you don't have the ticket, you can't get through the door. Then you would that's an absolute friction. That is like pure friction. Like you don't get participation trophies, you have to contribute somehow. Like you could have them do some crazy shit as well. Like you could have them even like promote something on their Instagram page to get their ticket. You know, like you could do like absurd stuff, but you also could like
Or to like unlock the ability to get the ticket to get
yeah,
whitelisted, let's say,
exactly, like a
right? To get
scavenger
whitelisted.
hunt.
All right.
But like it should be like a choose your own adventure game, as in
Interesting.
like you can have a
Okay.
bunch of
Everybody shows up, right?
mm,
Then in order to actually you buy the ticket at entry, right? Everybody shows up, and then like only like 10% of the people actually make it through to like get to the kind of like place where you buy it.
they just fucking give up, bro. They're like, ah shit,
Well, no, because
I'm
it's
out,
just too
bro.
hard. But then it's good. But then it's good because the people who are there are like the ones who made it, right?
Yeah, they get killed off, bro. Squid Game.
But yeah, okay, there you go.
Nah, but like, no, I think Physical 100 is actually like when I picture like yeah, yo, I can like see like a layout. Like it should be like a choose your own adventure game where like there's a lot of shit to discover. Maybe you can find like Easter eggs, whatever, scavenger hunt, etc. There's like a central hub, but like it's not like the center of action. It's just like a central hub. Has like some dope shit in the middle because that's where like people would rest up, buy food, etc. And then after, they'd go through
Mm.
and there'd be a bunch of shit. Maybe you can follow linearly, whatever. There'd be like a story to unpack.
You know
But
what? You
like
know
the
what is
content of
interesting?
it.
You know what's interesting?
Hmm.
Okay, I don't know if this is actually wrong because I've actually never been to a music festival, but at music festivals, right, there's acts, but then there's a ton of different acts, but then people might not like some of the acts, so they're like only there for certain acts, right? This actually gives them something to. So we just, well, I think music festivals already just like, oh, when you're not watching, just go here. But like, if it is like that kind of, like Fortnite, world thing where you like drop in and it's like this, and this is the main thing, right? And it's like, what do you want to do, right? So, and you like teleport into the world.
I really like the idea of making this like some sort of like a bona fide a bona fide platform for creation. Like it should be. I
Yeah.
really think like I really think somehow we should
Yeah,
have
we should.
some people make some stuff by the end.
That's coming up with, yeah, it's with the trends, right? So we should, our events should really be around,
But it's not
you know,
even
this
necessarily
sort of
with the
creation.
trends. Like I just think like that's how you
No,
get
it's
the
it's a
most
bit advanced.
participation out of it.
Mm.
It's where you get
That's
the
how you get
most
the most
interaction.
investment.
Like
Yeah, as in people get invested into it.
mm.
And yeah, you're right, because they have to struggle, right, to create as well. So
Yeah, like for example, like if you could have like a bunch of things contributing to each other, or like we'd have to somehow make it really easy for people to create like jaw-dropping things. And I mean
the
AI
thing
is a good
is,
example
the
of
thing
that.
is, on
It's not
on
physical.
any creation platform, you still get 90% of the people only consuming, and those people might pay. So we should just we should decrease the barriers for creation and also have like really really good creators there.
Mm.
But
Yeah, like we like hire people or not even hire.
no,
We
no,
get artists to pay.
everybody is attending. Yes, everybody is paying to it. It's a thing. It becomes a thing.
Like they see this, they're like, "Oh, I'll pay." Their art will be projected on the screen.
Right.
People will create on other shit. That'd be pretty interesting. Yo, this would be like this is actually like this is something we'd have to think about a lot because this is not a quick and easy answer. This is like this is pretty interesting because like on one hand, it comes back to like, well, we don't want to be like super boring. We want to have actual good events. On the other hand, we don't want it to have it super sporadic where there's too many things to do. So it should start like it should start like actual levels where really simple things to do, and then at the end you can just go to the concert where all the fun's happening. I mean, it is a balance, but what I just keep thinking back is like, how do we maximize participation in this? Like, how do we get people actually involved in this? Like, what is different than like it shouldn't be like
Make the
childhood
price
games.
high.
It should be actual art. What?
Make the price high.
Okay, yeah, obviously, but like then you get your audience low, and that's not bad. Like that's not a bad thing, and that's not necessarily true all the time. It will be a slow start, but like I'm talking about like actual participation. Like when I'm there, I'm not gonna be wanting to play carnival games, right? I'm gonna be wanting to do some shit. Like how what would it even be? What would people even want to create? Would people even want to create? Is that like the demographic we're trying to get?
Well, they would if we can discover what it is they want to create, but nobody has done that.
Yo, we could get like a music video like room where people like make music videos there. Or like a model photo shoot where you can get like professional photos taken and then like but it's only by like
Yeah,
photographers that like paid to be there. Like you get
right,
photographers who are
right,
like,
right.
"Oh shit."
Yeah,
You
it's
could get
because people
like
people want their Instagrams and shit. Um,
yeah, right? Like you get like professional photos taken, like all the whole 9 yards. What I keep thinking is like what I've been thinking about actually is trying to live like that bougie ass celebrity lifestyle that you would imagine it to be. Not necessarily the real one, but like
no, always, always, it's
encapsulating.
always yes. The goal has always been to
Yeah.
take what you see in movies and plump it right into IRL.
So what I think about is like, photo shoots, silly little videos,
Mm,
um, like music videos, like art pieces. Like it really should be about like getting in touch with other creators. Like it should be creators creating more things and encouraging that. That's what we should be trying to encapsulate. And we should have like
yeah,
really good events for that. Like an artist convention, but like not an artist convention. It's a festival. And how I think the creative thing here is actually figuring out how the hell will we get creators to A, want to be a part of this, and B, like at mass contribute to the festival on their own. Like how would we get like big figureheads to contribute, or if not, a lot of people at the same time trying to work towards something similar.
Well, I guess we're just gonna be here for a couple of years, keep promoting Motive, and yeah, GG.
Yo, but it could happen like
If we
soon,
just
bro.
keep
Like
like
it'd be fun.
grinding on it, yeah, we can like probably just blow up.
Get some
We
sponsors.
just
Get
gotta get
sponsored
there.
by Pierre's government.
Facts.
that's low key. That's low
Like
key.
it's doable, but it's just a matter of time of when we blow up and how much we put on it, how much we put on this.
Facts, facts, Eddie. Yo, what do we like?
I mean,
Nah, I guess we
it's
actually
like
have to just like plan it out. We have to
it's a
just it just comes down to like trying it.
it's like a creator centric event more
Like no one's
so
gonna
than
come to us. We're gonna have to end up coming to or getting up to like their status or something, or like getting to them basically.
Nah, but we don't want that. We don't want to have to pay people to pull up. Only
No,
like
not that, not that. Like just
we only
kind of
want
like
like the big names to be paid for. Like I just think
no, like look at for example Drake did a set for Lil Baby at Metro just because it's for the culture. So
mm, that is actually that is a good point. Yo, but like
and people low-key knew he was coming too, like although his name was not on the
yeah, but
list.
that's yo. How long has Metro been around? Like, what did they? How
It's
did
probably been
they?
around for years. It's probably been around for like maybe even a decade.
Yo, how do festivals? We're gonna have to do some of our own research to truly
Festivals, two
understand
people are
how.
just like, okay, I just want to start a festival, and they just start one, and then they grow it. The bigger ones are a bit more strategic. Like let's say Coachella has probably been around for decades. Rolling
Yeah,
Loud
but it
built
was funded by like it was the Coachella was made by the Rolling Stones, if I believe, right? It was like high capital.
Sure. So yeah. Oh, I mean,
Um,
festivals are capital intensive either way. And then you also got but then they start a bit smaller, then grow. And Rolling Loud, the guys were already promoters. Like they already knew like Travis Scott and all these people. Like a lot of times the ones that get success faster, they're just founded by people who are already in the industry. They're already promoters. They already know um, the artists and all that. So, but either way, you can just like you would still get artists to come if you had the money to. That's not
yeah, for sure.
as much a problem. We're right now we're aiming for something more innovative on the creative front.
Mm.
Um,
Yo, I think now it just comes down to actually like putting forth ideas and then seeing how we like about it. Like we have to flesh this out.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Um,
Yeah, that's true.
but I think I think we'll probably be doing that on our own time.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Okay.
yeah, for sure.